As you may notice, I'm still in my jacket. That's because I just finally got home, honestly. And yeah, because, like I said, I'll give you my promise. And that promise is, yeah, I'm pretty much going to talk about this. Pokemon Day. Yes, we are now officially in Generation 10. And before you ask, yes, I do count this as the true start of Generation 10. Once new Pokemon pops up, that's when I count Generation 10. Well, except when it's not, confirmed or stuff. But these Pokemons are confirmed, so there you go. But yeah, Generation 10 is finally here, and the only thing I'm annoyed about is what's it's called, being Winds and Wave. I still think that's a dumb name, but other than the name, honestly, shockingly enough, I am very hyped. And yes, as the thumbnail and the title suggests, holy crap, I think Pokemon is actually back. At least in the hype format. So we just did get the trailer today. Today is Pokemon Day, so Pokemon presents blah blah blah. Also, apparently, rest of the people think the rest of the present was kind of boring. Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about too much about it. I only saw the major thing at work, and that's it. Like I did hear about the other stuff, but I wasn't paying attention to it. Gotta do my job. I was more focused on just seeing what Gen 10 is because everyone knew Gen 10 was going to appear. And holy shit, they definitely delivered with the first trailer. Now, of course, I know there's still some worries because this is, of course, a big, important game because this could actually make it or break it with the Pokemon Company right now and all that gobbledygook. Because remember, their last game wasn't Scarlet Violet, it was ZA. I want to make that crystal clear because it feels like everyone keeps kind of jokingly skipping it to this, from Scarlet Violet to this. Spoiler warning, no, it's not. Or, sorry to break anyone's bubble. I don't fucking know. I'm just yapping, don't talk back here. But still, there is a justifiable reason because even if you do compare it with Scarlet Violet, yeah, it's definitely interesting to say the least. Like, it is a very big deal. It definitely looks great in all sorts of ways. Like, we don't have even much, and yet it still look great. Like, all the environments looks beautiful. I mean, even though I'm not really kind of mad with environments, but hey, it still looks better than nothing, and it really does look better than Paldea and Kalos combined, since those were the last two. And again, I'm not trying to burst anyone's bubble, but it is, especially since I think it is justified to do this. But this coming off the heels of ZA, not Scarlet and Violet. But like I jokingly just mentioned, it is justifiable because ZA was okay. Look, as I already stated, I don't hate ZA. I really don't hate it. But if you guys have seen my reviews, especially with the goddamn DLC, yeah, I'm kind of mixed on ZA. Like the main game and some of the game improvements, they're fine a little bit. It's kind of like meh, but it's still okay. The Mega Evolutions are great. But the problem is the DLC sucked balls, and the main story kind of also kind of sucked balls. Not in a bad way. At least the main story was okay, but it kind of just crashed and burned like hell, especially with the DLC. Like the only good thing this game gave us was Mega Evolved Meowstic, and of course they included on AZ's story. That's the only two good things came out of this goddamn game. And there's more, at least on personal level, but blah blah blah. Point is, even I will admit, despite though I do love it, and I don't think it's like Sad Satan or any bullshit game. Yes, ZA is kind of like a fumble. Although I will say it's also not like God. Thank God it's not also like Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, which kind of leads into the issue and why this is such a very very big deal. Because every single game, I guess except for Scarlet and Violet, but you can also justifiably include it where I'm going with this. Every single game, despite how much it made, flop in reviews. Like everything. Except for, I really think, except for Scarlet and Violet. But even then, it justifiably had some very big problems. That being the glitches, which even I put out in my review. Even though I think the glitches were overblown, but I can't deny they were there. Every single one of the games, justifiably one way or another, had a bombshell of problems on, like, especially the Switch era. And I do want to point out the Switch era because we're actually now actually dumpster diving into Switch 2. And you can kind of jokingly count, ZA as Switch 2 era starting point because it kind of somewhat is, but it's more like it was made for Switch Uno than Dos. But yeah, let's be honest. Ever since the aftermath of Sun and Moon, everything went down the shitter, which is really unfortunate because, again, I not only do I love ZA, but I actually do love Sword and Shield. But even I can't deny the bullshit that those games had, like Sword and Shield. Yeah, it definitely sucked on a lot of things, except for Pokemon. I think and the cool environment designs. But yeah, there were a lot of problems. In fact, it was the start of the Doomsday or Dark Age of freaking Pokemon, I guess. DLC was fine, but still, lack of story and all that. Then we go to Legends Arceus, which admittedly isn't as bad, but people did not get the whole Japanese oil arts design. And admittedly, it was like, it is fresh and new, but it was like, too many. The boss battle sucks a little bit. Then, of course, Brilliant Diamond Shine Pearl. Yeah, that thing can go fuck itself. Literally, it should die in a bunch of explosive diarrhea. Like, it should be. It is a shit. Like, you seen the joke I made. It should die like Purple Guy from Five Nights at Freddy's. Yes, I actually did make a joke on this channel of that. And it's just fact. It is this bullshit. Then, of course, we get to Scarlet Violet, which is probably the only game, but even then, it was glitched to hell and back. And then we get to ZA, which was kind of reversal. It wasn't glitched as hell, but it was like no one, again, didn't get the designs, but also, designs were a little bit worse, honestly. And the story just, like, which is bad because, again, there are some good moments in the story, but they sidetracked stuff. And I know this trailer didn't say, hey, here's the story, because it was just a brief trailer. But holy crap, this game already looks good even without the story. And such. For starters, like I said, this game looks amazing. Even outside of the water, which I know people are jokingly pointing that out, but trust me, don't think about the water for a bit. Actually think about the landscape too. Like, holy crap. Like, my favorite part isn't the water, it's like the lava. Like, have you seen the lava? Have you seen Slugma? The lava Pokemon, that thing's glowing as fuck. The game looks great if they're making lava glow like in Legend of Zelda. Even though I don't play Legend of Zelda, by the way. But still, holy crap, it looks pretty good. Again, I'm not very fan of the environment, but they still made the environment look awesome. I'm not even gonna lie about that. And, it still feels like Pokemon. That's a great thing, too. It didn't go overblown with it. It still feels like Pokemon. Turns out they are keeping the mechanics, at least what I'm seeing. They're still keeping the usual mechanics. Thank fucking God, because no offense to ZA, I don't mind ZA's, or the Legends formula, but I think that formula should stay in Legends, while the mainline game should stay tried and true with its main formula. And yeah, it just looks great all around. There's so many things I can say the least. It sounds great with the preview music, like many people say. And heck, even so far, the new starters, honestly, are pretty, good. They're actually designed well. Although I do have something to admit, and unfortunately I kind of admit this already in, that Game Explain, Good Vibes Gaming videos. Sorry, I'm used to it. But I'm not on Team Pom Bomb thing. Don't get it twisted. I understand why that dog Pokemon is fine. It actually is a good design. But I'm not a dog fan, okay? I'm actually weirdly in, the lizard one. I'm blanking on its name. Poddon, whatever, is the only one that many people, including myself, remembers. But that lizard person is one I'm keeping an eye on. Like that might be my starter. But no offense, I'm not into the fire dog. I'm not into dogs, honestly, that much. I mean, for fuck's sake, we all know this because my favorite starter Pokemon of all time is literally Sprigatito and Masquerada. They nailed it. So, yeah. But it's still a good design, and not to say even without the bird, too. The bird looks fine. Like, they look great, obviously. I mean, it's Pokemon, so it's going to look great, at least for me and a few others, but still, it's definitely hitting the marks. Like, if the dog design is giving well with the fans, except kind of for me, but even that is, I admit it looks great, then you know that this is looking good. This is looking great. And there is still some worries. One of the biggest, and let's be real, the most obvious one. This is gotta be an $80 game. It's gonna be an $80 game. Not trying to jinx it, but it probably is. Hopefully, it's not $80. Hopefully, it's just 70. But I don't know. It's looking like an $80 game, to say the least. And hopefully, they learn their lesson because there are a few problems outside the money. Like the money issue isn't the issue to me. My issue is number one, hopefully they don't do the same crap they did with ZA and release the DLC super later, or at the same time. Like do it what they did with Scarlet Violet, not with ZA. If you know what I'm talking about. I mean, oh boy, let's slop that up a little, but you know what I'm talking about. Like hopefully they don't release the DLC at the same time as the ZA, or you pay for it, then you have to wait forever. That is really dumb and should be hold off until further notice, of course. Also, I really do hope they are, they make sure they keep going and there's no glitches and no dumb things, honestly. I think my main point is they need to make sure the advertisement of this new Pokemon game isn't shit. I'm just going to say that. Because, especially with the whole Magmar ARG they wanted to do, which, trust me, I know it's not really ARG, but that was like the dumbest thing, especially due to poor timing. Oh yeah, let's make it ARG about a freaking hypnotized squid taking over and making people like it while we're suing the crap out of Power World. Yeah, that's a great fucking idea, to say the least. Man, good timing with the patent. You can tell I'm being fucking sarcasm here. But still, the point being, I'm hoping they don't do that shit again. Which, I think they won't. Like, my opinion is, especially seeing after this trailer, and I know this is the obvious opinion, and I know take it with a huge bag of salt, not a grain of salt, a huge fucking baker's bag of salt here. But it really does feel like they actually learned their lesson. And not just talking about just the Pokemon Company, Nintendo themselves, believe it or not. Because weirdly enough, a lot of things they're getting right recently this year. Like we already got like Tomodachi Life coming out, and I know that's like but their pricing is still fine, and it does seem like they're keeping their promise about the LGBT blah blah. Giving gay rights. There we go. I don't know why I was blabbing that, but I need to get that out of my fucking mouth. Gay rights and all that gobbledygook for Miitopia, which is fantastic. Alongside keeping the pricing low, their other game, they also released free DLC for Animal Crossing New Horizons. I know there's the upgrade pack, but at least the free DLC wasn't related to it. And the hotel thing, is debatable, but it's fine. And yeah, they've been pumping up a lot with the Switch 2 and all that. Sure, they still made some wacky hiccups like Virtual Boy and all that gobbledygook. But honestly, it seems like Nintendo is finally turning around a lot. They probably quickly realized what happened last year. Because like I said in the previous video involving Xbox, it really seems like Nintendo quickly realized how fucked up they were last year. And of course, obviously, Microsoft jokingly decided to make things worse because they wanted to literally, oh, you want to be that? Let's show us be the alpha idiot, apparently. Like, literally thinking it was a competition of some bullshit. But it's kind of funny because I heard earlier this morning through Spawnwave, they're now going, Nintendo was trying to have a war with Apple, apparently. I don't know. I didn't listen to all that, but taking this off. But anyways, in short, it does seem like Nintendo is finally listening and are approving. Again, take all that with a bag of fucking salt, not even a gram, a fucking bag of salt, because who knows what else they'll fuck up later. But it seems like they are improving. I think they are now listening to feedback, which kind of makes sense probably due to other things. But this announcement itself is big because the biggest thing of all, which I'm not upset at, and I'm actually hoping like many, but again, take it with a bag of salt. We got 2 bags of salt now, and I don't want to jinx it, but I am also being like many and hoping that delay to 2020 fucking 7 is being used to make sure this game is perfect. I am not joking. In fact, I have a gut feeling, thanks to last year, they may have done that whole DLC thing, in order to work on freaking waves and fucking winds. I am hoping, like many, but I'm being realistic here. Because, like, I'm going to get the game no matter what. It looks awesome, but for fuck's sake, hopefully they fix the problems. I know they can't do it. You know, they can't do everything. I bet $5 they may not have voice acting in this goddamn game. But at least make it playable and fun, and the story not be as shit as ZA. That's the only 3 things I think many people want. I know there's more than that, but I think those are the main 3 I think Nintendo can do, and so especially also Game Freak and Pokemon Company, especially since they're already in hot water even beforehand. Because remember, they also got that Game Freak also got that other video game coming out for Xbox, and PlayStation 5, which ironically still looks better than even this game, although this game kind of now is sort of like a level up near that game. But let's be real here, Winds and Waves is still behind that game in a long shot. But I really hope they do kind of like, hey, we can still make Pokemon work. Like, that's my major hope. They fix their mistakes and make Pokemon enjoyable again, at least. Because after the whole Dark Age with the Switch, holy crap, it was literally dog shit. I'm not even gonna lie. Especially it was so up and down. Like, the only good game that truly came out of it was Scarlet and Violet. And even then, that thing bombed a little bit with the glitches and stuff. But anyways, you know, that's my take on it. I'm not gonna go over everything else, including the Rotom the freaking Boombox Rotom. I forgot what it's truly called. I think it's called Steroid Rotom or Stereo Rotom. There we go. Or I'm not going to go over the weird freaking Game Boy music player. That's a weird one. I'm just going over the main thing. And yes, I'm a lizard person right now with that new starter. I might actually choose it. Don't know about the dog, but, you know, hot take. I'm not into the dog, but hey, I can definitely see why people love that dog. But I'm not into that. Again, I'm a cat person. I'm fucking fox cat here. But whatever. All in all, I am impressed. They actually prove a point. They literally just decided to say, yeah, fuck it, let's do this. And I hope they continue that momentum until the game release. But we just have to hope and wait. So anyways, this has been Foxcat, snapping out of here. Bye-bye.